Hello, my name is David Cursell, and my intention is to bring Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass to America and to the world, live and for free. First in performance, and then through the creation of a professional video featuring those performances and the reactions of the crowd to those performances. I memorized and began performing Leaves of Grass over 20 years ago. At 2.5 hours long, it was an act of devotion and the most challenging thing I'd ever done in my life. I committed myself to that goal because I was powerfully affected by the poem and wanted other people to share that experience as I performed it. I've been a teacher much of my life, and I understand that most, if not all, of the kids that I taught are not going to read a 150-year-old poem that's 2.5 hours long. But as I began to perform it in high schools and on college campuses and senior citizens facilities, as well as many other venues, I could see that the people were very powerfully affected by it. You have to understand that Whitman is not like any other poet. He's an immense visionary, first and last a champion of democracy, and rash enough to believe that he could bring his vision to the world, a world that he believes sorely needed it. And I believe we still need it today.
The Negro holds firmly the reins of his 4 horses. The block swags underneath on its tied-over chain. The Negro that drives the long dray of the stone yard. Steady and tall, he stands poised on one leg on the string piece. His blue shirt exposes his ample neck and breast and loosens over his hip band. His glance is calm and commanding. He tosses the slouch of his hat away from his forehead. The sunlight plays on his crispy hair and mustache, plays on the black of his perfect and polished limbs. I behold the picturesque giant and love him. And I do not stop there. I go with the team as well. In me, the caresser of life, wherever moving, backward as well as forward slewing, to niches aside and junior bending, not a person or object missing. Oxen that rattle the yoke and chain and halt in the leafy shade. What is that you express in your eyes? It seems to me more than all the print I've read in my life. My tread scares the wood drake and wood duck on my distant and day-long rambles. They rise together, they slowly circle around. I believe in those winged purposes and acknowledge red, yellow, and white plain within me, and consider violet, green, and the tufted crown intentional. And I do not call the tortoise unworthy because she's not something else. And the jay in the woods never studied the gamut yelp, trills pretty well to me. And the look of the bay mare shames the silliness out of me.
Walt's major theme was nature. Nature without check, with original energy, he wrote. I'm in love with it. I shall go to the bank by the wood and become undisguised and naked. I'm mad for it to be in contact with me. Whitman was in love with the forest and the wildness of America. Born just 4 years after the end of the War of 1812, he gives us incredible scenes of pulsing, unrestrainable, vital life of a free people in America. Quit school at 11 years of age and began studying print for the Patriot Weekly for an editor who had fought in the Revolutionary War. Many years later, he would stand and watch the carriage of Abraham Lincoln when he was volunteering in the hospitals around Washington, D.C. with wounded and dying veterans from the Civil War, both Union and Confederate. I'm a veteran myself.
Vigil strange I kept on the field one night, when you, my son and my comrade, dropped at my side that day. One look I but gave, which your dear eyes returned with a look I shall never forget. One touch of your hand to mine, old boy, reached up as you lay on the ground. Then onward I sped in the battle, the even contested battle, till late in the night, relieved to the place at last again I made my way, I found you in death, so cold, dearest comrade. Found your body, son of responding kisses, never again on earth responding. Bared your face to the starlight. Curious the scene. Cool blew around me the moderate night wind. Long there and then in vigil I stood, dimly around me the battlefield spreading. Vigil wondrous and vigil sweet, there in the fragrant silent night. But not a tear fell, not even a long-drawn sigh. Long, long I gazed, then on the ground, partially reclining, sat by your side, holding my chin in my hands, passing sweet hours, immortal and mystic hours, with you, dearest comrade. Not a tear, not a word. Vigil of silence, love, and death. Vigil for you, my son and my comrade. As onward silently stars aloft, eastward, new ones, upward stole. Vigil final for you, brave boy. I faithfully loved you and cared for you living. I think we shall surely meet again. Till at latest lingering of the night, indeed, just as the dawn appeared, my comrade I wrapped in his blanket, enveloped well his form, tucking it carefully over his head and carefully under his feet, and there and then, bathed by the rising sun, my boy in his grave, in his rude dug grave, I deposited, ending my vigil strange with that. Vigil of night and battlefield dim. Vigil for boy of responding kisses. Never again on earth responding. Vigil I never forget, how as day brightened I rose from the chill ground, folded my soldier well in his blanket, and buried him where he fell.
Though I came to it intuitively, I find myself in possession of a valuable gift. These poems and 20 years of carrying them around inside of me. I want and need to share these with other people, and I'd like your help in sharing them with as many people as possible. My needs are three. First, the tools, the professional camera and sound equipment and a computer powerful enough to carry the many hours of footage that I'll be shooting. Number two is touring. Some kind of vehicle to tour in, fuel, passage to other countries and continents. And finally, number three, the camera work and also whatever professional expertise is needed to transform these many hours of footage into a documentary suitable for television and theater. My final point is that we are not making a documentary about Walt Whitman and his world. There are several of those already, quite good ones. My vision is to bring Walt Whitman dramatically alive in the world today, and to film and take that footage and turn it into a professional documentary that people can see all over the world. And I would like to ask you to step into that circle of giving. Walt, myself, and now you. Thank you.